Hello everyone, thanks for joining me back on StubbleMeetsSteel. I was talking to one of my viewers on the channel in the comment section, and on my review of the Goodfellas Styletto 2, he was asking, hey, what do you think about doing the Goodfellas Syntesi against it? And I said, oh, that's probably a pretty decent comparison. So off memory, the Syntesi I would consider to shave more like a Rockwell 4-plate for comparison purposes. I had to double check the specs because it's been a little while, but it's a 0.62 millimeter gap, and exposure is positive at 0.02 millimeter exposure. Whereas the Goodfellas Styletto V2, it's a 0.88 gap, and then they claim the exposure is 0.37, and there's no way it's that high. It's got to be 0.037 millimeter positive exposure. But I do recall it being spicier, more like a Rockwell 4 or 5 or so, if memory serves me right. So let's hop into it and see how these two razors do. The other videos that I did, two Goodfellas razors against each other, people seem to like. So here we are. I've got Filoso blades loaded up for today. And I hadn't tried any of Ariana and Evan's new shaved cream style soaps. Super, super, super soft. And so what I tried yesterday that worked really well was I basically just took the cream and put it on my face and then just face lathered from there. So that's what I'm going to try to do today. So I'm just going to roll like that. And I had somebody ask how come I don't wet my face first. And I found that whether I'm face lathering or whatever I'm doing, I like to let the stubble kind of grab the soap and stuff like that. And if I put water on my face, yeah, I get that it's a great lubricant, but it makes it hard for the soap to stick. So that's why I'm doing it like this, because I'm just going to add the water in as I hydrate the soap. All right. Scrape some of that off my hand there in case I want a little more soap later. And it's got some great residual slickness, I noticed, when I'm trying to rinse it off my hands here. You have to rinse it quite a few times to get all that slickness and soap residue off your fingers. So it definitely has some good residual slickness. Let's see if I can get a good lather out of it today. Brush a little wetter. That's better. Get some water in there. Pops nicely. Let's add some more water. Why not? There we go. I find if you get the magic ratio just right, I feel that the density kind of all of a sudden goes up, as well as the slickness. And that's when I find my lather's just how I want it, just perfect, so to speak. So that method for me works amazing. If you haven't tried any of these shave creams, or you have and didn't have great luck, the first time what I've been doing is I take my soap and I put it in a bowl, and then I load my brush from there, and I really drive the tips into the soap. And because this was so soft and I used a stiffer brush, it like drove all of the soap to the back of the knot, and I just had a hell of a time getting it back out of the brush. I literally just wrung the brush out and then started it all over. So let's get going here. I got the Filoso blades loaded up here. Let's go to this side of the face with the Syntesi. Very smooth and nice pass on the Syntesi. Nice pass with the stiletto. Smoother than I remember. Felt like there was just a tiny bit more blade feel from the stiletto side with that little bit extra exposure. And the Syntesi felt like it had a little bit better blade clamping. Let's see how it feels here. Very nice pass there. Very smooth and nice against the grain on the neck. Let's see how the stiletto feels. Both razors feel very nice today. Get some water in there. Great limoncello scent on this soap. Enjoying it. If you like lemon Italian isis or limoncello after dinner drink cocktail, very nice. Smells just like it. Syntesi is definitely smoother across the grain here on the face. And I just felt a little more blade feel going across stretches right there on the mustache. All right, let's get lathered up one more time, go against the grain. Just pulled the soap out of the brush. Very nice. Got a blooper. All right, let's see how they do against the grain here. Very nice. Very smooth. Syntesi's feeling very nice today. It always does though. I really like that razor and the niche that it falls into. Let me get cleaned up under the nose here. Feels very comparable. The Syntesi maybe has less right here. That's about it. Whereas the Styletto feels like there's more to pick up here. Good residual slickness on the soap. Felt good on that side. Let's pick up this right here on Very nice. Let me get rinsed up and I'll go over the razors with everyone. All right, I didn't pick up the splash for that, but I do have this splash, which is basically the same thing. Remember these guys that vanish like a fart in the wind? Yeah, me too. So I'm gonna use that as my splash today. And so what do I think of the two razors combined? Well, I have to admit, I thought from memory that the new Styletto V2 was gonna be a lot spicier than it was. And I must say that it proved that it was quite a bit smoother than I remembered. That said, if you saw my comparison to the Colonial CR7 3-plate, I felt that that's still quite a bit smoother, has better blade clamping, and maybe even more efficiency as well than the V2, the Styletto. That said, it did well today, and you know, the Syntesi for me always does very well. It's one of my favorite razors, stainless steel wise. The only thing that I do notice is it's not super hard for me to get on angle, but if you look at the head design, there is two beveled angles here. And so you kind of have to fall, you know, right in the sweet spot and find that perfect angle. And so in that particular regard, the Styletto V2 is much easier, a lot more intuitive to find the shaving angle, and it also lets you play with it because it's got more of a radiused head shape. Very, very narrow, thin safety bar on both. And so, you know, they both excel getting under the nose and those nooks and cranny spots and stuff like that, or for lineup work, very, very nice in that regard. If I had to pick, I'd say my personal preference would be the Syntesi. I find that the blade clamping is a little bit better, and on those crucial passes against the grain, across the grain and everything like that, especially in the mustache area, the Syntesi for me feels a lot smoother and a lot more pleasurable. I just like it, that little bit of extra blade exposure that the Styletto has, I definitely feel on those passes, but it is very manageable, and you know, they're very comparable. Like I said, I was rather impressed with how well the Styletto did today. I thought that the Syntesi honestly was kind of going to blow it away, and they were a lot closer. You know, the Syntesi, like I said, proved that it was smoother than I remembered. So enjoyable shave. I enjoy both of them, but if I had to pick, I like the Syntesi better. They do make the Syntesi in a few different variations of metals. This is the stainless steel one. They do make it an aluminum one, but they change the aggressiveness and the head shape and stuff. It changes on them. And so the only critique that I really have of the Syntesi is it has a little bit of a short handle for my personal preference, just a tiny bit. If it was just like a 1/4 of an inch longer, I'd find it a little bit better. And whatever they've done with the top post design here, there's a little step. It's probably hard to see, but there's a little step at the very bottom, and because of that, it won't take any other handle. You have to use this handle, so that's the only downside of it. Whereas with the other models, I'd like to try them, but again, it's that same handle design, so that was why I haven't tried some of the other Syntesi offerings that they make. So anyways, there you go. I hope you enjoyed the video. I did really enjoy this new shave cream setup that Ariana Evans is doing. As you saw, it lathered super easy, just rubbing it right on the face like that, and then just go in with a pretty damp brush. And I definitely like the spray bottle. It definitely made it a lot easier too. I didn't use the spray bottle the other day, and it made it quite a bit easier. So there you go, check it out. I like the soap, and the razor comparison was fun, so I hope everybody enjoyed it as much as I did. I was thinking about comparing possibly the open comb Goodfellas to the V2, but then I remembered that I did the video already and I compared them, and I found that the Syntesi was more efficient and a little bit smoother than the open comb, so that's why I chose this today. So I hope you enjoyed the review. Look forward to talking to everybody in the comments, and stay tuned, I got a couple more videos coming. Thank you, take care.